way, it's somewhat realistic. I mean, did I just say realistic? Because that word doesn't really apply to this movie in any way.
In any way.
But, okay, here's where it happens. Everything you said.
Pull together, Leon.
Everything you said is true. As a matter of fact, having you say it made me go like, wow, I did just watch this, didn't I?
You get a little PTSD after this.
Yeah. And it is. The setup is so bad that just him sitting in a circle jerk, the really awful teeth, how much they play up the whole hick angle. I was really checking my watch and going like, all right, I was just even calm about it. I was resigned to the fact that like, I'm not going to sit through this whole thing. It's earmarked for me leaving. I think what kept me interested or sticking around or kept it at like where I was like, wow, this came in at some old bullshit and let's see how quickly it hits fuck you. It was Don Johnson.
Yeah.
I really liked Don Johnson in it. It was almost like you say he's washed up. It's almost like he knows he's like, because lately I guess he's kind of been backdooring into comedy and he's like, hey man, this is my shot. There's no reason to blow this off like it's nothing.
Right.
And I kept thinking, you know what? Had somebody recut this movie or reimagined it and made it all from Don Johnson's point of view, who discovered this crazy phenomenon, this could have been something that would have been rental status. It could have been like, well, wasn't great, but that was okay.
That's the best defense you have
well,
for this
what
film.
I'm saying is, like, when Don Johnson was on, like, I did get 2.5 genuine laughs, not just, like, but they all came from Don Johnson.
Really?
And it was something he would say that caught me off guard, or that character. It's like similar to Burt Reynolds and man, I am losing it today.
Boogie Nights?
Boogie Nights, thank you. That kind of put upon, down and out, let's just try to make this work.
See, I didn't get that at all from him. I actually was exhausted watching him. I was like, wow, you just seem like you have given up and you're like, fuck it, I'll do these movies. It doesn't matter. I'm just in it for the bucks. And he didn't seem like he was ever really trying either. It didn't seem like anyone in this was really trying. I mean, and it's filled with like those type of actors who always appear in these kind of things, who once had a shot at being much bigger and seem like they've just kind of resigned themselves to this sort of thing. The only person who even seems vaguely interesting to me, and it's only because I've been in love with her since since it was a Wednesday, was Christina Ricci, who I still think has a lot of possibility. Who's still one of the cutest actresses in Hollywood. She's just cute as a button.
All I kept thinking was like, my God, she looks better than ever.
Yeah,
like
she's
how is
gorgeous.
it she gets older and she looks better?
She's not very old for one thing, but
okay.
She's still like, yeah, she's absolutely gorgeous. I think she's a fine actress. I don't understand what happened to her career. Maybe she's a bitch or something. I don't know. I really don't know. I've never heard anything to the contrary. Hey, I'd still date her. Christina, if you're out there.
Yeah.
Just look at me. Look at me. Think of that Dreamweaver song. Let's do this. All right. So, there's lots of little people like Kevin Nealon, who's like, the most unnecessary written-in character, even though the only joke I thought was funny in this whole movie was with him and a bunch of grapes.
The grape joke.
The only funny joke. Only funny joke in the entire film. Only because it's so goddamn absurd.
It is. He was another one where, you know what, I was like, I like him and I like this character. They just don't know what to do with it.
How you doing, Bucky Larson?
What line of work are you in?
I'm here to be a movie star.
My last roommate came out here to be a rock star, then
Skip town. Thanks a lot, John Mayer.
Oh, wait, no. I got the dough. I'm good for it.
Can you excuse us for a minute, Kathy?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, and don't leave. I'd like to say goodbye.
Okay.
Look, I don't know you, and I don't know Kathy. Yeah, I've seen her in the laundry room a few times, but that doesn't mean I trust her.
Okay.
I'm gonna let you have the room, because I know you got cash. And I know I could pound those woodcutters down your throat. Roommates?
Yeah, roommates.
Like it peaked at the grape joke, and then they brought him back a couple of times. It's like,
it didn't make any
no,
sense. And they brought him in for like the final joke where it was like, are you serious? Really? That's how you want to go out?
Okay, that was, I thought, maybe the biggest misstep of the whole movie.
Right.
And it's a movie full of missteps.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, when it was at a point where it was kind of coasting along, where I was like, you know what? I don't think this is good anyway. I would never tell anybody to go see it. But I'm not hating. I'm not angry. It's not like when I see an Adam Sandler movie. There's so many of those that I see where I'm angry and annoyed because I feel like you could feel how much, like, you have guys who are giants of stand-up, and there they are just doing the most desperate, in-your-face jokes over and over. None of them are funny. They have no objectivity. And it's just like, wow, you guys are making me sad and angry that you're constantly pushing these in my face. This felt a little less obnoxious, though, with a much less of a brain and less talent. So I was able to just kind of cruise with it and go like, well, let me just focus on the things I do like. But for a movie that's about an hour and 30 minutes, it's 20 minutes too long.
Wow, yes, it is.
I mean, there is that point where it's like, okay, well, you wrapped up the story and... No, don't put this plot line in it. Just let it die.
It's a movie that's about really gross stuff, and yet it wants to act as if it's a G-rated movie. It's like everyone talks about things that are happening as if they were G-rated. It's like tons of like aphorisms and things that can be taken both ways, like as an innocent way or a dirty way.
Yeah.
We're like, come on, this has been going on for way too long by the 5-minute mark, much less the hour and 30-minute mark, and none of it is funny in the slightest. You say, well, I don't hate it as much because of the fact that at least you're not seeing people who should be doing better things, because you're like, wow, this is a bunch of people who you don't expect much more than this from. But I do. I mean, you said yourself Swartzen is like not as bad as I'm saying he is. Okay, well, he certainly wasn't showing it in his feature film that he helped write.
Agreed.
I mean, I'm sorry, but if this is like how he feels like launching himself onto the silver screen as a starring role, then fuck this guy. Fuck him in the ass. I hope, yes, I hope he dies, and I hope he goes to hell.
Well, it does make me wonder when I see something like this, is it the whole thing I say, like, you get to be Adam Sandler's friend, and that means you get to graduate, you get a guaranteed movie out of it.
Yeah.
But maybe there's a time limit on it. Yeah. Maybe it is, okay, you're going to get a movie, we got you slotted for him, so come back with something.
Maybe
and you go like, I'm not inspired. I don't have anything.
Yeah.
Kids, this is your only shot. You either come up with something or it's over.
You got 5 minutes.
Yeah. Clearly. It's no more than 5 minutes that you got.
And you also have to work with this story that we already bought.
Right.
None of the rest of us have a clue how to make it to a good movie.
Yeah. It's like while you're in the middle of your pitch, they go like, oh, no. It has to be on this subject right here. I guess nobody told you.
The weird thing is like films like this that usually are trying to at least work the sweet angle with like, he's a man-child, but he's not like a Will Ferrell man-child. He's not like a man-child who's like got an ugly personality.
Right.
He's a sweet retarded kid basically. But they usually have that whole like, the romance angle, and usually there's a tiny bit of that I like, that I go, okay.
I know what you mean.
Well, that was nice. Man, do they fuck that up even worse here. I mean, you've even got one of my favorite actresses like Ford to possibly be in that thing, Christina Ricci, who just like, she's got big doe eyes and you just couldn't want to give her a hug more. And no, they mess it up so bad. They don't even know what to do. They're practically, when they reach the point where these two have to get together, they're practically like just shrugging at the camera going, I don't know.
It is that. It's like, so what's the deal with you two? Oh, she's my girl, name, friend, and as an audience member, you're there like, yeah, what is it? I don't know.
Yeah.
Until she goes, I'm his girlfriend. You're like, oh, okay, well, I'm glad you cleared that up because I couldn't tell.
I guess that would have been sweet if there had been anything leading up to that moment in a convincing fashion.
Well, hey man, it's absolutely a train wreck. There's no reason to like this movie.
No.
I mean, what I say are saving graces. That's me, exaggerating what's actually there. It's like, okay, there's some things to not hate. There is at least one joke we agree upon. And you're right. That was like the one thing that got me a good laugh. And there's a couple like Don Johnson moments where I was like, ha. But there's no way I could give this anything more than some old bullshit.
I understand.
I mean, I couldn't quite go fuck you because I just didn't get angry. And I didn't actually get up and walk out. But every chance it had to, you know what? It established itself as some old bullshit right within the first 10 minutes. And while it did some things that might have risen above that, it just immediately did some things that took it right back down.
Well, if you only see one movie this year with lots of jism sprayed over the screen that isn't XXX, for Christ's sakes, go rent Orgasmo, or There's Something About Mary. Why would you want to rent this? This is absolute. I'm sorry, there's nothing about this that is forgivable. There's no reason this should have been made at all. I mean, it's even more unforgivable to the star, Nick Swardson, like I said, who obviously who doesn't want to go up to that next level. He should have stepped up and said, look, this is ridiculous. I can't do this. I would rather be in nothing than this, which would be a better career move, because this is a 0% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. 0%. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought I saw 33 the other day.
No, you saw 33 audience. Okay.
That is the thing. When I went to see it today,
Yeah.
I was the only person in that theater.
I saw it Friday night at 8:00. release night at the most crowded theater in Austin. Like, it was so packed. It was like a mall on Black Friday. 5 people in the screening. 5 people, because nobody wants to see this shit. It looks terrible from every angle. This movie to me is a fuck you because it's insulting to the audience. It's insulting the performers. There's just nothing of value here. I hate this, and I would be shocked if something beat this out for my worst of year.
I will say that if you've always had a fantasy of masturbating in a theater, this would be the one, because there'll be nobody around you to bust you on it.
Although, if you're the kind of person who might find something to masturbate to in this movie, I mean, sure, there's some nude scenes.
You got to give it that.
Yeah, but they'll only show them for a minute before it switches back to Bucky Larson, and then nausea. If that's what gets you off, you better step off. But one critic pointed out the fact. All right, so like Pauly Shore is in this briefly as a presenter at the Adult Video Awards. Yeah. And they said, what does it tell you that this is the worst movie that Pauly Shore has ever been in?
Nick Swartzen is...
You don't look like the average porn star.
Oh, yeah, because I'm wearing a sweater.
Bucky Larson.
I've never ridden in a convertible before. Stand up, feel the breeze.
Holy cow! Oh, you got bugs in your teeth.
Oh, it's still moving.
Yeah.
Ow!
Bucky Larson, born to be a star.
That's a great accent.
Your accent's awesome.
I love that accent.
Everyone keeps talking about my accent, but I'm from America.
Let's do it like they do on the Discovery Channel.